Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the Screen to Screen Halloween Special podcast. My name is Justin. I'll be your host, as always, and this time around, we are watching Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie. So the sequel to the Halloween remake that we checked out in the last episode. So I've never seen this film. I wasn't super blown away by the first one. We'll see if the sequel is better. This movie came out in... Let's see here. So the sequel was released in... So 2 years later. So the first Rob Zombie Halloween came out August 2007. The second one released in August 2009. So about a 2-year wait there to the follow-up. And this is the last film in sort of the original timeline, I guess. I mean, these are remakes. These don't exist in that particular timeline. But what I mean to say is this is the last film before the newest trilogy sort of redid it all again. So we'll see how this is. I'm going to boot it up. And you're welcome to follow along with me as I watch this movie. So I am going to push play right now on the film. And here we go. So we're on the Dimension logo, and we've just begun the journey. So if you recall, the original Halloween 2 followed Laurie as she went to the hospital. White horse, linked to instinct, purity, and the drive of the physical body to release powerful and emotional forces like rage, with ensuing chaos and destruction. Excerpt from The Subconscious Psychosis of Dreams. The White Horse. Okay, so more David Lynch stuff, or I should say more Twin Peaks stuff. But okay, the White Horse, pale horse, right? Although in Indian culture, in sort of the religious texts of the Hindu faith, white horses are associated with the god Kalki, which is a harbinger of a new age. But more on that. Go read John Thorne's book on Twin Peaks if you're interested in that. So, not exactly sure what we're looking at here. It looks like a kid playing with a white horse, talking about a white horse. Is this maybe this is Michael? I don't know who this is, but... And she's sort of comforting this child, saying, they both have long, kind of scraggly blonde hair. Whenever you look at the horse, you can think about mom. She's trying to cheer him up, and he's in some sort of psychiatric hospital or some sort of facility. Halloween, oh my God. Okay, so we get a gunshot and a scream and a Halloween 2 opening credits. And then we cut to an external shot of some person sort of walking 15 years later, it says. And there's a person, that's a cool shot, like a giant pumpkin, and she's sort of in the background. This is creepy and cool. She's just walking sort of through the rain, these sort of external shots of this town. Very Silent Hill-y, like, I guess this is Haddonfield. That's a really cool shot too. Looks like it's Halloween. This person is just sort of like zombie-like walking down the street. A flashing red light. I've talked about the flashing red lights a million times on this podcast, right? The harbingers of danger, right? Warning, warning, warning. And then the police car is sort of following her, and she seems to be holding something in her hand. Maybe, I don't know what it is, a weapon maybe. She looks like she's covered in dirt or blood or something. She does not look good, and barefoot, The sheriff says, Laurie, is that you? And it's the same sheriff from the first film. Sheriff Brackett. So I guess this is the aftermath of what we saw at the end of the first movie, right? So she's talking about climbing in the wall and hiding from the man, and she says she killed him. She's traumatized, covered in blood. This is a good scene, actually. Oh. All right, so now she's on her way to the hospital. It's a lot more like, visceral, a lot more gritty, realistic she's screaming. There's camera angles every which way. She's covered in blood. She doesn't know what's going on, terrified. They're rushing her through the hallways. It's very, a lot bloodier. But it's a good performance. She's traumatized, terrified. Am I going to die? She's just screaming, am I going to die? Am I going to die? And then we see them taking Dr. Loomis out. He's still alive, apparently, even though he got his head basically crushed by Michael Myers in the last movie. Not sure how that is happening, but and then we kind of get this surgery scene, this ER scene. Doctor's prepping to help her. She's covered. She's got glass in her, and she's just, this is this is not my kind of horror. This sort of body horror stuff. That's not really my cup of tea. I don't like to see things that make my skin crawl. But I guess we're going to get some of that in this movie. And I know that's part of the genre, but I don't know. I don't want to see it. Yeah, this is pretty rough. I don't know how surgeons do it. I really don't know how they do it. Oh God, really? God, that's really quite disgusting. They're showing all this graphic stuff. It's pretty rough. And in the meantime, they cut back and forth to the house, and we see them loading Michael Myers into the stretcher. We see them loading all these bodies. There's a crowd forming. What happened to this house? This is like the part that we don't get in the original film. We don't get a lot of the sort of logistics of what this means. And they're kind of setting her broken wounds, and they're repairing her. So Brackett is concerned still. He's sort of still on edge. The coroner's cause of death is obvious. Sheriff Brackett's like, nothing's obvious about what happened here tonight. So they're driving Myers' body to the morgue, and he's got a stogie. This guy, he's big, he's heavy. 6 guys to lift one stiff. Once again, we get sort of and I really think what Rob Zombie is going for in this is the evil hearts of humans, right? This guy, these close up on this guy's mouth. He's talking about what's that called? What's that called when you have sex with a corpse? There's a word for that. Necro something or other. I can't remember, but anyway. The evil of human, right? The bad things that regular old people do. And this guy's just taking it too far. He's just saying really crass, awful things about these deceased humans. And interesting, I don't know, the casting is interesting. The guy that's driving the van has a very skeletal face. I don't know. His nose is oh, God. Oh, and they just ram into a friggin' cow in the middle of the road. What is this movie? What is this movie? Oh, my God. They just, mutilate this cow. They're totally dead. The driver is just completely dead. They're all just really injured from this car accident they just experienced. Oh, God, this movie is so, close up gross. Oh, man, the driver of the car is just mutilated. The passenger guy is just, sort of stunned. He's dying, looks like. Ugh. God, how long is this scene? If it's just like mouth dripping blood out. Really lingers here. It's interesting. I mean, and then we just sort of start to see the van banging around and I don't know. It's interesting. There's a Twin Peaks vibe to this. Like, I'm thinking about like the guy in the prison cell in the Return of Twin Peaks that's just got like the bloody face that like has no reason to be there, but we just see him over and over again. And then we see some feet emerge from the back of the coroner's van and begin to make their way around to the front. Meanwhile, the guy just is saying, "Help me, help me, help me." Interesting, we haven't seen like the rest of his body yet. We've just seen his face. He's probably like, who knows what his condition is, but... And Michael Myers, he like sees him and and Michael Myers reaches in through the window with a piece of glass from the windshield and just... Oh, God, they really get in there. And they really don't hold back in this one. Holy shit. Oh, my God. He's just like sawing his neck off. Oh, God, this is fucking brutal. He decapitates this guy and takes his head up and holds it for a second. The mask is all burned and chipped and messed up. And he looks down the road. Michael Myers sort of looks down the road for a second. He's got a guy's head in his hand and the moon behind. That's a good shot of the moonlight there. And him just sort of standing in this another scene of absolute massacre. It looks as if there's something in the road in the distance, and he starts to walk towards it. And it's oh God, okay, what the this movie is weird as shit, but I kind of like it. It's a white horse and a woman in a white dress, dark, creepy eyes, all lit in the moonlight, like overly lit. This is creepy. Okay. I'll go with it. I like it. That's cool. That shit's cool. That scene was cool with the white horse and the... Where's... And so Laurie sort of comes to in the hospital bed. It's pouring rain outside. Someone's there with her. Some person who's asleep. Laurie sort of sits up in bed for a second. Her legs all messed up. Her, she's... I'm not sure where she's going, what she's trying to do here, but... Who's that singing on the TV? Is it like John Denver or something? I don't know. And so Laurie is like making her way down the hall. The reception, the nurses, on the ward nurses are like just kind of, doing their jobs, joking around, having a good time. And I guess Laurie makes her way over to this person's room. Who's this? Annie Brackett. Yeah, did she survive? Oh, that's right. She was trying to save Annie there at the end. And Annie is on a ventilator. She's alive, but not good and just totally messed up. And the nurse comes and collects her and tells her to go back to her room. And it's good. I mean, it's good so far. I like this sort of human response to trauma. I'm glad they sort of went in on that a little bit. The second Halloween film, and really, she's like, "Do you need my help?" And she's like, "I'm fine." The nurse goes away. So Laurie's left on her own. The second film was, it felt more like it was more concerned with like Michael Myers like kills and stuff, and it really didn't address, Laurie's trauma as much. And now Laurie's sort of screaming, I need something for my head, and no one's there, and she says she's getting dizzy. She sort of stops for a moment and takes a little break in the nurse's office. It's a good scene. I like how it's like quiet and isolating, and the nurse kind of stumbles out. And she is bloody and cut and surprised and shocked. She starts screaming. She doesn't know what's going on. And Laurie just starts running away. Oh, God, he's already here. He's here. He's here. There he is. He just like showed up at the hospital. That's weird. Like, I feel like they could have done a little more transition there. Like, he just all of a sudden is at the hospital. Did he ride the horse? That'd be cool. Michael Myers on a white horse, just like riding through the night. And Laurie is trying to flee, and oh man. It's so violently brutal. Like, it's so just over the top brutalization. And like the close-up shots on the faces really kind of like, oh my God. It really, is that him like grunting when he stabs? That's weird. Oh God, Laurie makes her way down the steps, and just like everyone's already murdered and brutalized and dead. And like, it's really just like a bloodbath. Everywhere. Good God. I kind of get though. I don't know. Like, is this contemporary horror? You know, like it misses the point. It misses the whole point entirely, right? It's not about the blood and the guts and the violence and the depictions of violence and the viscerality of it. It's not about any of those things. Like, it's not about any of that stuff. It's about the dread and the fear and the sort of like helplessness and the moodiness. Like, I'm not a fan of this kind of like I'd take the scene with Michael Myers like meeting the white horse any day of the week over, you know, someone getting violently, brutally murdered. Like, I just watched that movie Terrifier, which was good, but it was even worse than this in terms of like just the gore. But I get it. Gore is kind of part of the genre, and you know, it's interesting here too, like Laurie being like so vulnerable, you know, just like she was just about to pass out from dizziness, and now she's somehow trying to flee, and she gets out into the rain, and now, you know, she's got her boot on, and she's just really messed up, and Michael Myers is kind of stalking her through the bowels of the hospital, and she kind of makes her way out into like a rainy, leaf-covered outside area. But again, I don't know. I don't know. We're only 18 minutes in, and like, I don't know. What is this movie going to be about? I like the image. There's good stuff in here though. Like that shot of like that wide shot of just like the rainy parking lot, and there's no one around, and she's just running, and she just gets struck by lightning. So there's a fence. She can't get out of the fence. She's banging on the fence, screaming. She looks for the security guard. There's no one there. There's a pumpkin in the window, though. Pumpkins are like death. Pumpkins are like the oranges from The Godfather. If you see a pumpkin, someone's going to die. She sort of clambers in through the window into the security guard's office. And now Michael Myers finally makes his way kind of out into the courtyard and looks around for a second. And so Laurie's kind of hiding in the security guard's office, and Myers is looking for her. And he's just like, where could she be? You see, there's like a random car driving. Whose car is that? What happened to his long hair? Is it still under the mask, or didn't he have long hair in the first one? It's weird. Oh, the goddamn security guard. Oh, it's this guy. This is just fucking great. He's got his donuts and his coffee. They're just getting soaked. What the Christ? She's trying to tell him. He's not listening to her. Buddy, it's gonna be fine, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. He gives her the coffee. She's like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't want some coffee. Nobody's gonna hurt you. Don't worry. Everything's gonna be fine. 1 second. All right, buddy. He locked the door. It's not really gonna help anybody, though. Oh, boy. Buddy! I kind of, the shots through the window, like, are interesting. What is with this TV playing the same song, the same band playing has been playing for the last, hour on this black and white TVs? I don't know, this movie's interesting. Like, there's some good imagery in this, like I keep saying, her sitting in the security station alone there in the storm is good. I like how the movie takes its time too. Like it lingers. I think that's important. I think that sort of lingering is important. All right, buddy comes back. He's got the car. Everything's fine. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Buddy got the axe. Ah, brutal. And now he's looking in the window for Laurie, and where did she go? Buddy's body is just laying there. Oh, she's still in there. She's just hiding. Like, what? Okay. So he goes around to the back to look in and see where she went. He still can't see her, I guess, under the desk, but he's just like... He does look creepy, though, in this. Like, I do like the look. I think the look in this is more interesting than the first one. He's still too, I don't know, almost like too, the mood. That TV is interesting to me. Oh, and he's busting in. He's just breaking down the whole thing. Oh. How are you going to get out of this one, Laurie? Why is he screaming though? That's weird to me. He's just like, ah. And she's just screaming for help. He's just literally just breaking down the whole building. I don't like I don't like his grunts though. He's like, ah. It's weird. All right, he's in. He's in. Oh boy. Oh my. Really? Really, guys? Okay. So where are we now? All right, so October 29th. 1 year later. So that opening scene was all just a dream, I guess. So Laurie's having a lot of trauma after what happened last Halloween. Okay, so interesting, I guess. It felt dreamlike, that whole opening sequence. So I applaud that. That was cool. Mirror says, "Wake the fuck up." Okay, so Laurie lives with the Brackets now, and Annie's alive, and she's making... and he's gonna get a sticky bun. Oh, she said slow your roll. So Annie has a lot of facial scars. Annie's trying to eat healthy. She's trying to be healthy, and her dad's giving her a lot of crap for it. She'll let her eat healthy if she wants to. This is good though, like the trauma. One day at a time. All right, so now we're kind of, I guess, in the film itself. That's interesting though. That's a risk, that's a big risk. Kind of a 30-minute dream sequence to start the film. And then we see Laurie in therapy. Just talking about her dreams and trauma she's gone through, and she's got a cool car. So they're talking about it being Halloween and Halloween being a trigger. Hey, it's Margot Kidder. That's cool. Lois Lane from Superman. So I think that's her, right? So she's alive, or Michael Myers is alive within her memories and within her heart. Like, he's dead physically, but he's still alive in Laurie's mind, kind of idea. This is good stuff, though. I mean, this is probably not what audiences were expecting to get in this movie. And I like that it sort of subverts what the expectations were. They were probably just thinking they would get a remake of the Hospital movie, but this clearly is something else. Here's Dr. Loomis showing up in a limo. Malcolm McDowell. Dr. Loomis has survived. He's got a cool mustache. Dr. Loomis. What the... Old Loomis, new Loomis. What the kind of Loomis is this? I guess this is his publicist or something. Uncle meets Java Hole. Fuck yeah, let's go. This is as good as Joe Grizzly. Uncle meets Java Hole. Uncle Meat. I like this place already, though. Uncle Meat's Java Shack looks great. Oh, fuck the man. Uncle Meat. The old man caves again. I like how the place, they're all like punk rockers in this movie. They're like the Phantom Jam. Oh, wow. It's so uncool that it's cool, guys. Wow. Oh, all right. Well, right back into this. Right, whoever wrote these movies, Coolio. We got Coolio. We got Rad. We got God, Jesus. Oh my God, what is happening? Oh yeah, we're punk rockers. Hell yeah. Oh my. So I guess we get a new Michael Myers, a new young Michael Myers in this. Dr. Loomis is just getting rich off of this story. So immediately they're just like, are you responsible for the deaths of these people? It's an interesting retake on Loomis, I guess. I'm not a psychic Sherlock Holmes playing Superman? What the does that mean? Oh, he's pissed. He's so pissed. In the meantime, we're getting a cutaway to this some stranger walking through a field. Oh, he's got a big ass beard. Oh, okay. All right. He's got a beard. Oh, Jesus. This is cool though. This shot is awesome. Look at this. This sort of moonlit, smoky, grassy field farmhouse. Lady Death making her way towards it. Michael Myers making his way. Is this like the afterlife kind of deal? Is this like, or is this another one of Laurie's dreams? Maybe this whole movie is just a big dream. All right, we get Galadriel in there, and no, it's not Galadriel. Hello, look at Michael Myers with his beard. Holy shit. What is this? Oh my God. So it's his mom, and it's the kid, and it's the adult Michael Myers. It's This movie's it's so weird. It's weird. All right, we got these guys now. That guy, that's the guy from Batman Begins. The guy that's like the cop that Batman says, like, listen to me, or he says, like, pray to me, or whatever. Swear to me. All right, they're going out to get this drifter who, like, is stealing their stuff, and they find him out in the field just walking around. And he just kind of stops. Look at those antlers on the front of their truck. Called him a stupid, slimy dick. Oh my. I'm not a fan of that phrase at all. Oh, they hit him in the back of the leg. He's just like wailing on him with a tire iron. They hit him with the bat. They just keep beating him. What an idiot. He starts swinging the bat around like a nunchucks or something. Oh, man. It's an interesting scene. And of course, Myers he's going to sit up. He's going to do the sit up. Takes the hood off. He is like Thor, the thunder god in this movie. He's just like, oh, he puts the mask. Okay, he's got the mask. He just kind of pulls it out. He's like he's like a bad superhero. Oh, he cuts his eyeball out. Oh, he impales him on the antlers on the front of his truck. Ugh, brutal. This guy has like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe for sure. I wonder if Rob Zombie was kind of going for that on purpose. Interesting, kind of like slow-mo, no sound right there. He's almost like a feral animal at this point. And he drags the daughter out of the truck and stabs her to death too. I don't like the like. I think that's bad. I think that was a bad choice. And then he walks too human. Like, he's not right in this. He's too like human. He's just like a dude in a mask. Like that. Like dragging the knife over the cage. It's like, I don't know. They're talking about he's talking about some Old West movie. Methuselah. There's a little like meat theme in this movie. What's up with that? Uncle Meat. We got a lot of animal deaths, a lot of like Oh, gross. Like he's like meat eating, and Myers is like actually eating like a. That's an interest. Why is Michael Myers like eating at, what is this movie? God. Oh, what the he's just eating like a dog. And Laurie's sick. Is she like psychically connected to him? Like, this movie is interesting. It feels like they're kind of, oh yeah, wow, interesting. It feels like they're kind of tapping into some of the ideas in many of the different films. Perhaps I thought I got that feeling when they were in the barn, because there's so many barn scenes in the later movies, you know. So she just kind of throws up, and I wonder if that's because, you know, she's connected to Michael Myers in this weird way. And he's just hanging out in a hay barn, just looking up at the moon. Living in his little dream world. Weird. This movie's weird. It's a weird one, for sure. For sure. Now it's like there's some snow. Like, yeah, Rob Zombie definitely kind of like went off the rails a little bit in this one. Interesting, like the young Michael and the old Michael kind of together, as though those two kind of put, oh my, what the fuck? This movie is bizarre, man. I kind of like these weird, bizarre, like, I like this stuff a lot. What the hell? Holy shit. What am I looking at here? Boo. Who's Boo? Is it Laurie? Like, is this what's going on, like, in his head, I guess, you know? I guess this is trying to, like, depict his mental struggle. The skull with the Michael Myers, their skeleton with the Michael Myers mask in the back is really creepy. Ah. Oh, God. Hey, it's that cartoon with the dancing skeletons. I used to love that when I was a kid. So Laurie's having these horrible dreams, probably because she's psychically linked with Michael Myers, who's also in this weird psychic state. So now it's October 30th and entering Haddonfield. And Michael Myers is just like, I don't know, wandering around in the fields and stuff. Oh, Dr. Loomis is like flirting with the reporter now. He's kind of a douche in these, huh? Yeah. It's an interesting take on Loomis, though, for sure. You know, like, he's now this sort of like, I don't know, celebrity, daytime TV personality guy selling books on the Myers tragedy. Look at his black sunglasses. Loomis is selling the sizzle, not the steak. It's good, though, because, I mean, this is like a harbinger of things to come. Like, I think Rob Zombie's, he tapped into the zeitgeist here before it really hit a critical mass, right? Like, they're selling the sizzle, right? They're selling the idea. They're not, like, they're selling the fear and the anger and the rage and the, you know, the stuff. And, I mean, that's what happened in real life, you know, 6 years after this or whatever. Like, you know, that's what kind of has happened with mainstream, you know, American culture in a lot of ways. So I think it's an interesting sort of take on that for sure, you know, which is cool, you know. All right, so now we have Laurie, and she's sort of sort of cutting back and forth between the bathroom and she's eating some candy corns, it looks like, and doing a couple of other things, and there's some tape, and she's clearly struggling. She's clearly like in some way connected. Oh, now she's got the mask, and is this a dream? Is this real? She's sort of like, is she now Michael Myers? I don't know. Oh, brutal. Another brutal. So she's clearly having these weird dreams. She's sort of almost like she's possessed. Interesting that the kill there was like the same upside down cross. Like, look at all this weird stuff. Wow. So just like weird imagery of like Judith Myers above the Myers tombstone in a snow-covered field. You know, like Laurie in a glass coffin, like sped up footage, like really, you know, crazy dreams. The imagery there is cool though. Like I think this movie does a good job of like weird imagery that is kind of creepy and odd and strange. The way they talk, though, like they just use. Oh, and then here we have Michael Myers again, just sort of wandering through an open field. Interesting kind of imagery. It reminds me a lot of the, like the opening of The Walking Dead. That sort of creepy kind of zombie in the field in the bright sunlight of the day. You know, he's just like. There's also an interesting connection here with like the film It Follows, which is a much later horror film that comes out, which is a cool movie about like, you know, a demon or something that's sort of just like walking towards you. It starts at some point and it just walks towards you, eventually finds you and kills you. So now we have Sheriff Brackett watching Sam Loomis on TV, and Brackett is kind of pissed at Loomis because he's saying police incompetence. You know, he's putting a blame on the police. It's an interesting take to kind of make Loomis sort of an antagonist in this, you know. Yeah. Oh, the rabbit in red. Oh, cool. Okay, so that's cool. Okay, I got to hand it. Okay, so if you remember from the very first film, the guy, the Loomis discovers the dead body of like the trucker that Michael Myers takes the costume off of, and it turns and he looks. There's a moment where like Loomis looks at this matchbook, and it's from a place called the Rabbit in Red, and the camera lingers on that matchbook for a moment inexplicably. But now here, this is cool because now we see that this place is. It's like a strip joint in town, and that's cool. Okay, I appreciate that. That's a neat little connection there. That's cool. The Rabbit in Red. Who's that guy? Who's that actor? He looks really familiar. Color of Money. That guy's mustache is intense. Oh, who is that? All right, so clearly there's some. Oh, what's this guy? What's that guy doing? Like a. Okay. So the guy in the leather jacket leaves out of the back door of the Rabbit in Red strip club, and we get a neat little shot of him kind of in the moonlight underneath the awning there, and he's taking out the trash. He's pissed he has to do all the chores around here. I have to do all the chores. Why do I have to do all the chores around this place? It's ridiculous. And here's Michael. And he just kind of stands there looming for a moment. He tells him to get out of here. Doesn't like you bums rooting around in the dumpsters. Leaves blowing in the background. That's a cool shot. It's framed well. Like the two sort of standing there like that. I like how that's framed. Why are we just like seeing his face? Why does he have a giant beard? Like, it's so weird. He's just like a Viking in this movie. I don't know. There's a lot of like cool stuff in this movie that I like, and there's a lot of cool imagery. I really hate what they did with the central character. I really hate this whole take on Michael Myers is not good, in my opinion. You just can't reimagine him that hard. Like, he has like a sleeping bag and like it's just weird. It's just weird that he has like a sleeping bag and like, I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's almost like when they like try to make something like more like real life. Like, if Michael Myers were actually real, this is what he would be doing. And I just don't know. Like, he's not real. He's like just this like unkillable evil demon human thing that doesn't make any sense. So he stomps that dude's face in, just boot stomps his face into a pulp. And then he's like, I gotta go trim my beard. I'll be right back, guys. Oh, that's creepy as shit. The ghost of his ghosts that follow him around, his mom and his kid self with the mask. It's very Lynchian though. I will say it's like very David Lynch stuff, which is cool. Oh, the guy's got his Frankenstein costume on and more nudity. Oh, now Michael Myers puts the mask on. Like, he's like a weird anti-superhero in this or something. It's kind of weird. And so they stop their act of coitus, and Michael Myers comes in, and he's got his mask on, and the guy's like telling him to get out of there. I don't know. He looks weird in this. He's been to Nam. This guy's been to Nam. So he goes to get him. Michael Myers just body slams him. He's like a professional wrestler in this. It's weird. There's a lot of like wrestling moves in this movie. Oh my. Oh, and he took the time to like hang the guys who he smashed his face in a minute ago. He like strung him up on some lights. They didn't hear him doing any of that. Oh God, we got some bones popping out. The owner of the strip club is getting murdered. Again, we have like this sort of vulnerable nudity thing happening. Oh, and he's just like a bloody mess. That's creepy. He's like slamming him down the hallway, and he's just like this creepy, bloody monster thing. Gross. And they're just screaming and yelling. He's got his hands half hanging off. It's good. I mean, it's viscerally gross and, good if you like that kind of thing. And Michael Myers just sort of slams him into the wall. And she rips a piece of the mask off, and he sort of slams her into the wall a bunch of times and into the mirror. Brutal. There is this brutality in this movie that I was expecting, but it's pretty intense. A lot of it is the camera work, which is interesting. That's the direction, right? Like, so he just murders all those people. Rabbit in red. Oh, he turns on the closed sign. All right, so now it's Halloween, October 31st. Here's the Haddonfield Central Town Hall. They have some potbelly pigs and stuff for Halloween. Henry the potbelly pig. And that's some nice little pettings. You got some sheep. It's kind of, I wonder if that's kind of like a metaphor, right? Like sheep to the slaughter, cows to the slaughter, right? Like livestock. The humans are just like livestock to Michael Myers. And so here's Sheriff Brackett reading Loomis's book, and he's just so pissed. He's just angry. What's he going to do, he says. So he calls his daughter Annie, and he's looking for Laurie. Sheriff Brackett's looking for Laurie. So Laurie's just kind of walking around town, and there's the display of Sam Loomis's book in the window, and this is what I guess Sheriff Brackett was trying to avoid Laurie seeing, and she's clearly going to be triggered by this a little bit, and so but she goes in to check it out. Devil. Wow, Sam Loomis is just an ass in this movie. Chet, the bringer of death. Death. Chet, the bringer of death. So Chet, the death bringer, seems a little creepy. Chet is really excited to see Loomis. You're the man. So this guy shows up next, and he's got a photo of someone in the book. Linda. So this is the dad of a victim of Michael Myers. He's pissed at Sam Loomis. So this angry father is accosting Loomis, and Loomis is telling him to calm down. It's interesting to see. Like I said, I think that scene is interesting because it really, as much as I dislike what they've done with the character of Michael Myers in this, I really like how they've leaned into other things that are more terrifying than Michael Myers. Angry people who are angry. I mean, just think about what recently happened with the Sandy Hook thing, right? With that radio host who was saying all these falsehoods about that event, and they took him to court and sued him, right? Like, it's the same kind of thing, right? People profiting off of the tragedy of others. I mean, this is a common everyday thing now in American society, and we don't know how to deal with it. We don't know how to deal with trauma. So this movie does a really nice job of tapping into that. I almost wish this wasn't a Halloween film because, like, it's a good movie. If you took Michael Myers out of this movie, it would be almost like a better movie. I don't know. So there's some good stuff in here that I think is really interesting. It's more of a film. It's more of a film than a horror film. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like, but then again, like Halloween 3 was a kind of a weird anomaly, right? So they, and then we have Myers, we have the guy walking through the fields, right? On his way to Haddonfield, I guess, but he's close, right? He's at the Rabbit and Red, so he's approaching. He's like, getting closer and closer. Laurie is just pissed and upset and triggered and angry and everything else at Loomis and the book that she was reading in her car, just screaming and smashing it. So Laurie is clearly upset about something that she read in the book, and she storms out. And she's just screaming into the night. All right, so the shit's kind of hitting the fan now. What are we, like an hour into it? All right, and so Sheriff Brackett sends a deputy over to Annie's house to watch her, and then meanwhile Laurie arrives at a really cool decorated Halloween place. I guess this is his Uncle Meat's record shop. Oh, now is Uncle Meat gonna get meated? So we get an interesting, like, Rocky Horror Picture Show costume idea, which is cool. Oh my God. I'm not me. I'm not me. That's like directly out of a David Lynch film, that line. I'm not me. Like literally Diane says that exact line in Twin Peaks: The Return. So she discovers the truth about who she actually is. Her name is Angel Myers. She's Michael Myers' sister. She never knew this before, and she found it out now because of Loomis's book. It's pretty traumatic, though. Like, they're finding all that out, like, through some random book that... What the hell? This guy's in this? This guy from Talking Dead? And Weird Al Yankovic is in this? Okay, sure. What's that guy's name? I watch him on Talking Dead a lot. And Weird Al. The Newman Hour. Al. And Loomis is still being like a dick. Like, oh, wow. Oh, he's so pissed. He's never been so humiliated in all his life. Called out on his shit. And this is interesting. I don't know. This is weird. All right, and here we have Michael Myers, or this hulking, hooded anti-superhero walking through the streets on Halloween night. Kids are out trick-or-treating. You got the clowns, and you got the devils, and you got the witches, and you got the whole thing, and this little kid's running down the sidewalk. Oh, and look at that. He looks right up in the eyes of Michael Myers underneath the street. That's a good shot. That's a cool... Another... Are you a giant? Can we be friends? Bye. He's like, yeah, let's be friends. I'm a fucking giant. It's so weird. And now they're drinking. They're kind of talking. And Laurie's like, my life sucks. I want out of here. Oh my God. On the table, I want to go party. Grungy. The light bright says fuck off and die in the back. You gotta love the light bright says fuck off and die. And they're like, let's go to the party. Let's go to the party. Everybody to the party. Chill night. All right, there. Okay, now we're in a music video. The Frankfurter costume is awesome, though. Frankenfurter, whatever his name is. The guy from Rocky Horror Pictures, Tim Curry from Rocky Horror Pictures. Is this Rob Zombie's band here playing? I don't know. A lot of cool costumes, though. Some zombies and some drugs going on, some alcohol, some really elaborate costumes at this party. Terror Train. Did you say Pennsylvania Terror Train? What the hell's a Pennsylvania Terror Train? Move your shitbox over there, Kojak. What the hell? Jackhole. Just a lot of naked people and drunk people and frightening people. There's a lot of stuff at this house. This is quite the Halloween party. Ooh, look at that thing. That thing's awesome. Where is this? I want to go to this party. Oh boy, that's Jesus. That's not something to joke about. They get into the van. What? All right, so they're in the van now, drinking beers and stuff. All right, they're getting it on in the van. The guy's got like a full-blown like latex painted mask on his face. All right, he runs out to go pee, and that's probably not going to end well for him. He's peeing on a tree. I don't remember her friend's name who's dressed as Frankenfurter. What the fuck? Why is he fast? Why is he fast now? I don't know. That's weird. Oh, Jesus. And Myers busts in the van through the window. Jill jump scare there. Oh, my. And he's just murdering people. He's just going to murder everybody at this party, just randomly. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Interesting kind of cut back and forth between the murdering and the partying and the... Oh. That sucks. Brutal. He just chokes her to death. Ugh. And now they're both dead. But, right, we all know the rules, right? No sex in horror movies. That's always a bad idea. And there's Loomis watching his interview. Weird Al says snap. That's funny. That's a funny line. Are we talking about the Austin Powers Mike Myers? It's a weird little moment, right? Like it places the film. Oh, cool. That guy had a costume from or no, it looked like that one, those pig creatures from Twilight Zone for a moment there, but I mean, man, they a lot of fun this Halloween party. Just like a lot of footage of the party. Oh, is this Laurie dressed up as this maid? Oh, she's the maid from Rocky. Oh, they all went with Rocky Horror. Okay, so now she has an image of Judith Myers and young Michael Myers. She sort of has a vision of them there. And she's, what do you want from me? It's almost time to come home, Angel. What the hell? Oh, so she has sort of a vision and she's freaking out. There's something behind her. The band's playing. People are dancing. Harley. All right, and then back at Annie's house, we got this dude with a shotgun. Interesting. This is very similar, like set. It's a very similar vibe to like the Myers house. This outdoors of this house. Annie answers the phone, and it's her dad again, and the deputy is cold. Why would Michael Myers be here? I thought he was at the Halloween party. Or maybe he's not at the Halloween party. Maybe it's Laurie this whole time, just like, maybe Laurie's the one killing people. Because she's like having visions of Michael Myers and stuff. She doesn't know that she's killing those people. Maybe she killed Harley and her lover, werewolf guy. All right. It's quiet outside. It's quiet. And he lights up a little cigarette. It's a good little scene of like silhouetted against the light. Oh, and he's just like, out of the shadows comes the Michael Myers and kills the deputy. Why? He just like teleports around in this movie. It's just weird. Like, I don't know. It's a weird take on Michael Myers, in my opinion. Now Annie is by herself, and she's going to probably get attacked again, just like in the first movie. I think she's been through enough. Oh, and the mom and the kid are there. The ghosts of Michael Myers. She's going to take a shower, I guess. Her bathrobe is grungy. She needs to wash that thing. This whole house is kind of grunge. Oh, and he's in the mirror. He's like just in the shower, waiting for her in the shower. Somehow he teleported up there. It's really dumb, in my opinion. How did he get up there? And Annie hasn't noticed him yet. He's just sort of standing there. And now she's sort of like sensing his presence, and she turns around and she sees him and she starts to run. Again, we get one of these sort of slow-mo scenes with no sound. She's just sort of running as fast as she can. It's a really interesting, like, David Lynch thing. Just sort of ultra slow-mo. And we just hear Annie screaming, and then it just kind of fades out. And we just hear the sounds of her being murdered. It's really Lynchian in my opinion. Like, it really does feel like a lot of David Lynch influence in this, which is weird. I mean, cool. I mean, maybe Rob Zombie likes David Lynch movies. You know, I wouldn't blame him. They're creepy and cool and surreal and awkward and weird, all in good ways. And so, yeah. So now that Laurie and her friend make it home from the party, and they don't notice the dead police officer in his cruiser, and they go into the... Okay, so I guess Myers went... So they drove home. I guess Michael Myers, like, walked over there, and... I'm Michael Myers' sister. I don't... God, what is this movie? I guess so... So he teleported over to the house, somehow knows exactly where the house is. He just kind of has like a radar, or like a, what's it called? A dowsing rod that like just shows him where to go. That's a cool shot of the house. Oh, there he is, like in the window of the upper floor. You know, that's cool seeing him up there. All right, so they're kind of drunk and a little bit, you know, tired, and they're coming home from the Halloween party, and they turn the lights on, and they see a mess and a struggle. This is kind of a cool way to... We sort of are getting these quick cuts back to like Annie's murder as they sort of investigate the scene. It's cutting back and forth to Annie's murder. That's kind of a cool way to do that. We don't know if she actually is dead or if she survived somehow. No, yeah, she didn't make it. She is dead. And just blood everywhere. So she tells Maya to go call 911. She runs off. Maya runs off. Annie is Annie, is she dead or is she alive? I don't know. She's somehow still alive. Oh my gosh, she's just covered in blood. It's just a bloodbath in there. There's like an interesting like dirtiness to this movie too. There's something about, it's like everything's dirty, like everything's like not pristine, you know? It's a good mood. It's a good tone, I think, for the film. Like, she can't finish the phone call. Michael Myers grabs Maya and starts throwing her around. He's got like this hood. It's like, he's just stabbing her over and over again. Yeah, I like that. It's that camera shake is still there too. Every time the knife comes down, the camera kind of bounces up and down a little bit. It's an interesting kind of little flourish, you know. All right, so Laurie is upstairs with Annie, just trying to comfort her, sort of, and just trying to like keep her alive. And Laurie kind of slides around in all the blood. It closes the bathroom door. That dialogue sucks right there. I'm sorry, I hate that. Sir, I just got a 911 call, sir. Well, okay, why are you telling me about it then? Did you dispatch? Because, sir, the phone call came from your house. Like, just friggin' tell him that it came, like, I don't like that at all. The writing in this, I'm not into it. Oh my God, stay with me, Annie. Oh, is Annie gonna expire here? Oh. That's it for Annie. Maybe if she hadn't like shaken her around and screamed in her face and stuff, she would have survived. Oh, it's not good, Lori. Everything's bad. Oh. It's a hard life. It's a tragedy for her, right? She's just like beyond trauma at this point. There's like a giant pentagram on the wall, on the 666 and stuff. Alice Cooper. Michael Myers is literally like breaking in through the pentagram. Here's Mikey. Oh no, Maya's dead downstairs too. There he is. He's got his hood on and everything. He's like he's like a killer Santa Claus. He has a scarf. Oh, he gets a scarf in this one. Why does he have a damn scarf? What the shit? All right. Can we get maybe the music at this point? We're just not going to get the music. That's another cool kind of... Oh, it's so David Lynch. Those weird, like, slow-mo fade shots are just crazy. So Laurie runs off into the woods screaming, and Brackett shows up. So Sheriff Brackett's just like losing his mind. And, you know, it's not going to go well this time. I mean, last time she survived, right? He was able to get there in time, but not this time. Oh my God, that's just horrible. Interesting choice of musical accompaniment here. This sort of like Enya almost sounding music. And then it's an interesting... They really take their time with like the trauma of these murders, right? Like, and then these shots of Laurie just like screaming through the woods, you know, running away. It's just, like, these are interesting shots here. Like, that's an interesting shot of the moonlight through the trees there. So she's in the woods. She's getting chased by Michael Myers. She's lost. She's confused. The camera's spinning around. She's spinning around. Very disorienting, you know, like disorienting the audience. It's good. I mean, maybe she'll make her way to Glastonbury Grove and she'll enter into the Red Room and we'll never hear from her again. And then she'll become Annie. How's Annie? All right, so now we're out in a field somewhere, and Laurie's trying to scream. She's screaming for help. Somebody stop! Help! Who are you? Wait, there's a car. There's a car. Stop! Please stop! They can't see you. They don't hear you. That's a cool shot. The fog and the field. I love that. So she makes her way up onto the road, and she's just covered in dirt and blood, and she's just all grimy. And she kind of collapses on the road in the moonlight. And then a car comes. She tries to wave the car down, trying to get the car to stop. This guy. Isn't this the guy from that commercial with the Aaron Burr peanut butter commercial? That guy? It's that guy. So he picks her up, puts her in the car. He's going to take her to a hospital. Good. We should end up at a hospital at the end of this, right? I don't know if it's that guy. It might not be. It kind of looks like that guy from that commercial. So anyway, Myers pops out, teleports in from nowhere, kills that guy, lifts up the whole car. And just sort of tips the whole car down over top of the guy's body, and his body's like sticking out of the front of the car. His legs are just like flopping out of the front of the car. What the shit is this movie? That's a cool shot of just like the car horn blaring into the night and the trees, and Laurie is just like kind of knocked out, bloodied in his car. It's on fire now. We see the flames like flickering on her face. So we don't actually see the fire yet. We just see the light from the fire, which is a cool thing. And then Michael Myers pulls her out of the car. And then he walks off into the woods with his ghosts and his sister's body. It's weird. Car blows up in the background. And he takes her to a rundown, boarded up barn house place type of thing. And he puts her down. Sheriff Brackett is back at his house. He's just lost his mind basically at this point. What witness? Who freaking witnessed that? Sheriff Brackett's clearly like lost his mind. So they're going to go investigate this. They somehow have intel that he's boarded up in a shack on Eagle Road. There's some sort of mysterious witness. Again, like way too many plot holes in this movie, but sure. So Laurie is like seeing these ghosts too, I guess, because she's sort of connected to Michael Myers some way, I guess. The ghost is asking her to say, "I love you, Mommy." And she says, "I love you, Mommy." And she's just struggling, and we get lightning flashes and electricity, and police sirens and light flashing and slow-mo and weirdness, and the Michael Myers mask, and it's just, I don't know, it's weird. And he looks up, and there's like a helicopter, I guess. He says, "You're surrounded. Come out with your hands up." And Laurie's just screaming. So who's holding her right now? Because the child, Michael Myers' child ghost, is like holding Laurie. Meanwhile, Dr. Loomis is enjoying a nice glass of a nice Chardonnay in his study. And he hears a breaking news report on the TV, and he's like, "Michael Myers is taken a hostage and is in this place." And Loomis is like, "No, what the?" All right, so Sam Loomis rushes off, I guess, to go to where this is happening. So the cops have him surrounded in the shack. "Come out with your hands up." No sniper. What? And Loomis just shows up like in 5 minutes? Oh, Sheriff Brackett just punches him in the face. No, wait, okay, so no sniper has a clean shot. They got snipers. I don't know. Brackett just wants to murder Loomis. So Sheriff Brackett is pissed at Loomis and he says, "Get out of here." And Loomis offers to draw Michael Myers out, and Brackett is just like, "Get him out. I can walk from here. The evil is walk from here." Brackett's like not having it. It's just saying, he just runs over. What the shit? He just runs over. The police are just like, oh my god! And Loomis goes into the shack, and so what is Loomis seeing here? Okay, so Laurie is just sort of struggling against nothing, right? Just in her head, and Loomis is trying to sort of tell her that there's no one there. And he's just screaming at her, because that's what Loomis does to people that are in trouble. He just screams at them. And Michael Myers just sort of, his mom says it's time to take us home. He pulls out his knife. He pulls out his Rambo knife. Not a kitchen knife anymore. It's a Rambo knife now. And he just slashes Loomis to pieces. And he's gone. He's dead. And he just stabs him in the face a bunch of times. Oh my god. Oh my god, he's really going to town on Dr. Loomis. I don't like the mask. I don't like the mask half torn away, and then we see the face and the eyes, and it's just like, what's the point of the mask? I don't know. Like, it just feels too much like a pro wrestler type of thing. All right. So Brackett takes a couple shots. He gets him right in the chest. Michael Myers falls back and becomes impaled on some nails in the barn. So Loomis' sacrifice paid off. He gave him the moment to get the shot they needed, and he falls back and gets skewered on some metal spikes. He's definitely going to need a tetanus shot if he survives for part 3. And Laurie kind of stands up and walks around a moment, and Loomis Loomis is really brutalized. His face is half torn apart. Why would you go over to the guy? I thought he had a giant beard. What happened to his beard? Did he still have his beard underneath the mask? I guess he does. Okay, I shouldn't see the beard. What? She says, "I love you, brother." And he's got the knife. And he's got the knife. Why would she say, "I love you, brother"? That makes no sense. And he just drops the knife. What the shit? And now Laurie has the knife. And she stabs him right in the chest a bunch of times. She's just screaming, "Die, die, die," and she's stabbing in the chest over and over again. Yeah, sure. I mean, all right, and she's she loses her energy and she leaves the giant Rambo knife in and stuck inside of him. It's a cool shot there of him with the knife sticking out of him, and she's just sort of like sitting there. All right, well, she did it. She survived. She kind of stumbles out of the barn, and she's oh, what? She's wearing the mask? What the hell? Why would she be wearing the mask? Why? I don't get it. So we get the Halloween music starts to play here, and she's sort of underneath the helicopter light looking down at the mask, super slow-mo. And we sort of crossfade to a hospital, and we hear the Halloween sort of music, not the main theme, but like that sort of creepy music that's always playing in the background, and the camera slowly pans in to now Laurie is in this white room, hospital room, sitting on a bed, just sterile, this whole white space, just blank, looking down at the floor. And here comes the white horse and her mother's ghost down the hallway. And she sort of smiles. And that white horse is creepy in that hallway. It's a cool image. See, this stuff is kind of neat. And look at her. Look, wow, that's quite a look on her face there. Like, so like she's become Michael Myers now. She's become the killer, which is a theme that we've seen before in the films, right? Like this passing along of the evil. So we get the written and directed by Rob Zombie, and the Halloween theme comes up, and I don't know, man. Written and directed by Rob Zombie. Sorry, Rob. I think you're a good director. I don't know about how the writing goes over for me on this one, but yeah, the executive producer situation is still a serious problem in these movies. Those guys can whatever. And then we just sort of get some shots of the violence and some still images of sort of the victims and the bodies and sort of everything that kind of went down. But yeah, this one, I don't know, folks, like, not a fan. A lot of neat imagery, a lot of interesting ideas, some cool scenes, but the story, the sort of what they did with it, what Rob Zombie did with Michael Myers and the character of Michael Myers, I just think they changed it too much. You can't reinvent the wheel that hard, I do applaud it for taking some risks, though. It had like a dirtiness to it. It had like a visceral violence to it that was kind of, interesting, and it was interesting to watch. Yeah, we see the caveman Michael Myers. So yeah, I don't know. These two are probably my least favorite in the whole thing, in all 13 for sure. But I'm glad that we got a chance to check them out. So yeah, thank you for hanging out with me on these movies. Thank you for watching up to this point. On the next episode, we're going to tackle the start of the most recent trilogy, which is Halloween. And what happens there is they essentially reboot the franchise. So they take the first movie, and then it's 40 years later, and Laurie Strode has been waiting for Michael Myers for 40 years to come back, right? So they skip over parts 2 through 10 and go right to part 11. So next time, Halloween. And thank you all so much for listening. I really appreciate all the support. And until next time, happy Halloween.
do 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 do